Hello, junk journalers. My name is Carla, and welcome to Stay Stitching. I'm glad you're here. Today, I'm going to show you my third vintage ephemera kit designed especially for junk journalers. This kit is called Sundrifter, and it's mostly about just being out in the sun. It's summertime. I've kind of chosen some summery colors and just some sort of whimsical things to put together. So let's go ahead and begin. I have a lot to show you. This is a big kit. So let's go ahead and begin with the paper. This paper is tea dyed. This paper is actually coffee dyed, front and back. And these are just faded summer colors. Greens, corals, turquoises, and then here's a sheet with a bunch of different pinks and some browns and blacks and whites. So most of the stuff in the kit is designed to go with this set of papers. These are coffee dyed. Set those out of the way. Then we have a little playing card. I really loved this image for this kit because it's called the Sundrifter, and we have the sun and trees and some grasses, and I just thought this was a really cool card. This is probably from the 60s, I would guess. Then we have a Yahtzee tally sheet from 1984. Says so right on there, by Milton Bradley Company. So very rarely that you get the date right on there, but that one's from 1984. Here is a tally sheet from probably the 60s or 70s. And then here is a couple of sheets from a vintage ledger book. It's cool. It's not super old. I would say this is from the 70s, maybe the 60s. I was looking to see if there was a date. I don't see a date. But anyway, it's from these, from this book. So yours is going to vary. This first one is A, and then you get a sheet from the ledger book. Now we're getting into tea-dyed paper. And this is paper that I have tea-dyed. This top sheet is kind of cool. These are truly a one-of-a-kind because what this is, my husband is a fountain pen geek, and they like to, fountain pen people obviously want to write with their beautiful fountain pens and their beautiful handwriting, and so they write to each other. That's one of the things that they do. And this is a piece of tea-dyed paper of a letter that my husband got, and you can't read it at all anymore, but you can see the ghost, the faintest ghost of the writing that was still there after I tea-dyed it. So this will be different. This piece of paper here is a true one-of-a-kind. You know, there's only going to be one in each kit from my husband's fountain pen friends. So there's that one. Then this is tea-dyed notebook paper. It's just beautiful. Just standard notebook paper, nothing old or fancy. This is probably from the 80s. Standard tea-dyed paper, just cool. Here are some book pages from a book called Silent Spring. It was one of the very first books written about environmental damage, about damage that was occurring in the environment because of practices that mankind was doing, you know, DDT, stuff like that. So it's got a beautiful color to it, and it's about the environment. These sheets here, there's 5 of them, I believe. They're very thin. Yeah, I think there's 5 there, 4 or 5. These are this Stincraft typewriter paper. Stincraft Miller's Falls onion skin. 500 sheets, white cockle, 25% cotton content. It's just beautiful paper. It's very thin, and it's, I don't know, how old would something like that be? 50 years old? That's probably from the, maybe 60 years old. But anyway, I love to put this paper in my junk journals. It's very supple still. It folds beautifully. You can sew through it. It's just really nice. And I have not tea dyed or coffee dyed this, because, nor did I dye the book pages, because I like the way they look. I like their natural color that they have developed just from being around for a long time. This is mulberry paper. I like to include this like inside a signature as kind of a flyleaf page. This is not old. Well, it could be 18 years old. I mean, I've had it. It's mine. I bought it new. But Lord knows I have paper that's 18 years old around here. So I really like working with mulberry paper. And, oh, I just realized I have one painted nail. Excuse me. This is an experiment to see how long this nail polish will stay on. Nail polish does not stay on me, and I'm happy to report that this nail polish has been on for 48 hours. That's kind of unprecedented. So I might actually paint my nails sometime. Okay, so if you want this to be smaller, my favorite way to make it smaller is to get a paintbrush, just a paint, like a watercolor paintbrush, dip it in water, and then draw where I want it to be. Like if I wanted this to be in quarters, I would just get water and I would paint on here, and then you pull it apart and it has beautiful feathery edges. You can also cut it with anything. It cuts easily. It is kind of hard to tear because these fibers don't like to be torn really. Then I'm including 2 pieces of what's this stuff called? My mind is completely, I'm drawing a complete blank. I don't know what this is called. Transparency paper, maybe? This is fun to put in for signatures. You can print on this, and so if you've bought any digital kits, it's really beautiful to print on, and this is really nice quality stuff. It's kind of old, and, well, I can show you the box. It's not super old, but it's Zeller Desktop Publishing Products. So it's transparency paper. So there's that. Okay, now let's get into the little fabric bits. Now these fabric scraps are all, I chose them because of their colors. They go with the paper in here, and they go with the theme of summer, and they are very random. They're not perfectly square, which I like. I like to take a little piece of fabric like this and sew it, sew it into my book. Just pleat it right as it goes underneath the presser foot, and have little different things like that in my book. So there's this beautiful kind of terracotta coral here. That's gorgeous. And I made the pieces somewhat large. I mean, there's no way you're going to use all this in one journal. That is just not going to happen. So, and then I included a beautiful pink. Here's the shiny side. Very smooth. I kind of like the matte side better on this one. This side looks like silk. I don't really, this could be silk. I have not done a burn test on it. But anyway, that's a pretty summery color. And then I included this blue, the color of a summer sky. And this is kind of transparent. This is a knit. It has a lot of stretch this way. And so you can do a variety of different things with these. You can make pockets with these fabrics in the fronts of your junk journals. Use them as decorations, cut shapes out of them. Here's a green one, kind of a spring green, satin, the shiny side, and the more matte side. Both sides are beautiful. so either side would work. This is a gorgeous pale gold satin, and then you can see the back is more matte. And I love the selvages on fabric. I tried to get you selvages on the pieces when I could. Like this piece, this one has a lot of selvage. Now, of course, every single one of these kits is going to be different. And then the last piece of fabric, this is a beautiful piece of upholstery fabric. This is very thick. It's very thick. This side is very soft and kind of velvety. Either side would work. And this side is satiny. This is the right side. But this could be a cover. You could cut it up. It can be whatever you need for it to be. And so it's a beautiful rusty orange corally color. Okay, now getting over here into the little goodie bags. And I'm going to try to do this quickly because I don't want this video to be too awfully long. I don't want to bore you. You're going to get 5 of these little hello stickers. 5 sugar ration glassine bags. I use these all over my journals for little pockets, tuck spots. You're going to get an assortment of summer themed tags. And then the elephants, that's not necessarily summer themed, but I just couldn't resist adding them because they're so spectacular. And I don't have this stamp anymore, so when these are gone, they're gone. Then I included several different kinds, I think 5 different kinds of yellow ribbon. It's the Sundrifter collection, so I felt like we needed to have some yellow ribbon in there for little spots, all different shades, different textures, in a perfect length for junk journals. They're not long enough to be the ones that you wrap around the outside, but they're certainly long enough for you to put into any tag or to sew onto any page. Then I included some matching little fabric flowers. These are fabric. They can be sewn right down. You can stick them down with a brad. You can staple them down, glue them down. A little bird. This bird is a sticker. So this paper comes right off of there and you have a sticker. I made that. And then this, I don't even know what this is. I bought this at a thrift store. I don't know if it's a coaster. It's not a pocket, but I just included it because I liked the colors. And so there's your rhinoceros beetle. Maybe you'll figure out something to do with him. Put him on the cover, sew him down like this. You'll have a nice pocket. It's real sturdy. It's fabric. And so I just like the texture of it. So I included him in there. Yours may vary. I have several different kinds of this. So everything in my kits may vary because a lot of it is true one of a kind or vintage. And so I only have what I have. This little bag, we have a shell, a gold shell. That's a real shell. So pretty. And then a couple of parrots for that tropical look. And then some butterflies. These are wood veneer. They're actually wood. And the parrots are supposed to be buttons. I know because I'm a seamstress, these would not last. They're too thin. They would not last on clothing. But you can certainly sew them onto a page in your junk journal, and they're pretty flat. They're real thin. They're not going to add too much bulk. So those guys go back in their little bag. This bag is full of 4 teaspoons of dewdrops in colors that match the kit. Is that all the colors? No, there's still pink ones in there. So these are fun. I glue these down with a strong glue and add them all over. They look like, kind of like drops of water. I just add them randomly throughout my journals just for a pop of shine. And then this is going to be really kind of hard to show. This is a whole tablespoon of beads and some vintage metal paper clips. And I included, with the beads, I included a bunch of these little guys so that you can make your dangles, your bead dangles for your summer themed or water themed, you know, beach themed notebook. There's all kinds of jewelry findings in here, and this whole bag is full of beautiful beads that are hand chosen by me to go with see, there's a bunch of them in there left. Now I've got to get them all back in there. So that's the kit. This one will be listed in my Etsy shop. It's called the Sun Drifter.